Our chalice lighting words this morning are by Francis Cozier. May we light this chalice this morning to remind us of the power and beauty of balance and contrast. It is darkness that can make the flame of a single candle so powerful, and light that deepens those shadows in turn. A chalice flame is the meeting point, the union of the refuge, safety, and incredible beauty of darkness, and the warmth, assurance, and the joy of light. May this act of lighting our chalice remind us that we are stronger together in all the complexities and all of the disagreements, because we are all different and we are all one.
Will you please rise in body and or spirit, or both, and sing with us Spirit of Life. Spirit of life, come unto me, sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion, blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
It is time for a time for all ages. So if you are young or young at heart, we invite you to find your way to the rug for our story together today. We have some new friends with us and some friends that we haven't seen in a while and some friends that were here just a couple weeks ago. It's good to be with all of you today in this space. Has anybody ever heard of the Sankofa bird? Has anybody heard that story before? I don't think I've ever shared this story before. It might be my first time sharing it here. It's a really good story. So while I'm sharing this story today, I invite you to be thinking about something that you are really good at or something that you've gotten really good at this summer, okay? Once upon a time, in a vibrant village filled with lush green hills, there lived a wise bird known as the Sankofa bird. This beautiful bird had bright feathers that shimmered in the sunlight, and it had a very special ability. It could fly forward while looking back at its past. The villagers admired the Sankofa and often sought its wisdom. One day, a child approached it to ask a question. They had been feeling kind of confused about their future and who they were becoming, and they were worried about the choices that they would make. "Excuse me, wise Sankofa bird," the child called out. "Do you know how I can find my way when I am unsure of what lies ahead?" The Sankofa flew down from its nest and landed gracefully beside them. It twinkled with kindness. "My dear child," the bird said, "don't you know that we are authors of our own story? To understand our future, we must first learn from our past. The journey of life is like flying. You can look ahead, but please remember to always glance back at where you've been." The child stared at the bird with a puzzled look. How can looking back help me?" he asked. The Sankofa replied, "Think of your experiences. Each mistake and success has taught you something. By reflecting on them, you can make better choices. Just as I fly forward while looking back, you too can move ahead with the wisdom that you've gained." Inspired, the child thought about their past and they started to think about all the things that they had learned over the years. They remembered one time when they had helped a family member when they weren't feeling well, and they thought, maybe I could be a doctor or a nurse. They remembered how fun it was to help build the neighbor's fence, and they thought, maybe one day I could be a carpenter. With each memory, the child thought they felt stronger and more confident about who they could be. Now, child, said the Sankofa, what do you want to achieve in the future? I want to be a teacher, the child exclaimed. I want to share stories that inspire others. The Sankofa smiled, and then he said, remember your past. Embrace your courage and creativity. Keep remembering what you've learned, and this will guide you in your journey. And with a newfound determination, the child thanked the Sankofa bird and set off to share their stories with the world. And whenever they felt stuck or like they didn't know what to do, they remembered the wise words of the bird, and they paused to let the lessons of their past illuminate their way forward. So what's something that we have learned how to do this summer or at another time? Do you remember? You have gotten really good at solving that Rubik's Cube. What is your fastest time? You don't know? Maybe that's something we can do in RE today. Maybe we can time you and see how fast you can go. I think it's pretty fast. You did it really fast last week. Has anybody gotten really good at doing something this summer? Have you practiced anything? Swimming or riding a bike? Anybody have new hobbies? Riding a bike? Have you gotten really good at riding your bike? Yeah? Very cool. I've gotten really good at making pizza this summer. That's been my summer project. I have one more question for you. What is something that you think you might want to be when you grow up? And it's okay to not know. That's why we have the wisdom of the Sankofa bird and all of our life lessons to help us figure that out. Yeah? Does anybody have anything that you really feel like you know you want to be when you grow up? Or are we all still thinking about it? All right. We're still thinking about it, leaning into our inner wisdom. Well, we're going to invite you guys to explore a little bit more when you go to RE with Miss Eliza today. I'm going to invite you to remember how we are kind to each other and how we take care of one another and take care of our things when you go play today. And before I go, I want to make sure that everyone has the message in case you missed it. We are having a little gathering in RE for all of our families today. So if you are a family and you're here with us today, we have some picnic lunch items, and you're welcome to join me, and we'll just connect and talk a little bit about what we plan to do for fall. So that'll be happening after the service. But before we go, let's say the Children's Covenant together. In this place, I am kind. In this place, I am loving. In this place, I am a friend to the earth and all animals and people. In this place, I am loved.
As you go, may joy surround you. As you go in peace. And our love is with you always. As you go, may joy surround you. As you go in peace. Know our love is with you always. As you go,
Good morning, everybody. I'm Leora Mock, and I'm your Operations Director, and I have today's announcements. I know you all have a skyline in your hands and an ACE in your inbox. If you don't, you're welcome to ask at the welcome desk or at the connections corner, and if you're joining us on Zoom, special hellos. You can also ask for those things in the chat, and we will make sure to take care of it during the week. So since you've already got all of the announcements, I'm just going to highlight a couple. The first is that next Sunday after the service, our Adult Spiritual Development is hosting their first gathering of their spiritual book club. It'll be here in the sanctuary, so you'll hop out and get your coffee, come back in here, and there might be 10 of you, but there also might be 80 of you. Reverend Scott will be here, and depending on how many there are, we'll break into smaller groups. And the book is called The Awakened Brain, and I'm about 2/3 of the way through, and I think it's really fabulous. So if you've got some time this week to pick it up, that would be great. And if you've already finished it and already planning to be here next Sunday, that is excellent as well. Another thing I want to highlight is that this Wednesday, the 27th, choir resumes. So if you've been a part of our adult choir and you are ready to come and get started, be here at 6. And if you're new to choir, come too. There's no audition process. You won't be put on the spot unless, you're really naughty or something. I don't know. And we're looking forward to the choir being back with us on the stage for In Gathering on September 7th. And the last thing I want to note is that as possibly predicted by many, if not all of you, the roundabout construction is experiencing a delay. It's a little unclear if this is City of Bend silliness or an actual delay, but the roundabout is not going to be open until most likely Monday, September 8th, which is going to be after our In-Gathering. So so I'm sure all of you are coming for In-Gathering. It's one of the, I don't know, is it the most fun? I don't know. It's really great. I love it. And so since all of y'all are planning to come, think about carpooling or maybe having a coffee at Thump and then walking over. I'm just going to say that the parking is going to be really congested for our In-Gathering. That's all I have for today. Okay, take care.
Good morning. My name is Scott. I'm the minister here in this congregation. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm delighted to be here with you this morning to share our joys and our sorrows and our gratitudes. We have these sheets on our kiosk. If there's a joy or a sorrow or a gratitude you'd like to share with the whole congregation, you can fill that out and give it to an usher or place it back in the kiosk. And if there is a joy or a sorrow or gratitude you'd like to light a candle for, that's just in your heart and you don't want to say it out loud and you want to do something with it, make it real in the world, you can light a candle on the side. Bill Barber reports that his wife, Janet, is having foot surgery on August 15th, 2 days ago, and will have several months of recovery. It will be a joy because her foot will be good as new, but a sorrow because it is a painful process. And we understand that surgery went well and now begins that several months of recovery. So we're thinking of you, Janet. Steve and Brenda Perry share. They joyfully announce, where are Steve and Brenda? There they are, all right. They joyfully announce that we are celebrating 50 years of marriage. That has 50 years. That has been mostly pure bliss. Married longer than some of those of us in the room have been alive. That is quite something. And Quincy Bernal shares, I'm happy. Where's Quincy? All right. Quincy shares, I'm happy and sad to announce that this is my last time attending before I leave for college. This has been a beautiful, welcoming, spiritual home of mine for over 12 years. But I'll be back, and we will hold you to that, Quincy. You go into those college years with our love, Quincy, this entire fellowship. You have made this place more full of love in ways you probably could not imagine, and we're grateful for that. For our prayer today, we're going to do a body prayer. So I invite you to stand up if you're willing. All right, we'll do this 3 times. So body prayer just meaning an embodied prayer instead of just a word and talky prayer. All right, so take a deep breath. And let it out. Find your body. Remember that you have one. Oh, whoops. Remember you have a microphone. Yeah. You don't, I do. I'll remember. Okay. And we'll maybe tap your legs and say, repeat after me, I am grounded in my body. I am grounded in my body. And take your arms and put them out wide and say, I am open to awe and wonder. And reach down to the earth. I am grateful for the earth that sustains me. Grateful for the earth that sustains me. And scoop up love and hold it in your heart and say, I have love. I have love, and I offer it to the world. I offer it to the world. That's it. Are you ready? All right. I am grounded in my body. I am grounded in my body. I am open to awe and wonder. I am grateful for the earth that sustains me. Grateful for the earth that sustains me. I have love. I have love, and I offer it to the world. One more time. I am grounded in my body. I have awe and wonder. I am grateful for the earth that sustains me. I have love, and I offer it into the world. Amen. We'll now just take a brief moment of silence. Maybe there's been no silence in your entire week. I don't know. Maybe there's been too much silence, but your mind has been active during that silence, and so it hasn't been that silent after all. And that might happen now too. Either way, we'll just take a time to claim some space for ourselves in this moment and share in this silence together.
It has been said that the great end of all the world's faith traditions is to bring humans closer to the divine by acts of creation and compassion, and the spirit of generosity that allows us to live our values and community together. We will now gratefully receive this morning's offering.
Some of you know I sing at some of the protests are all that I can sing at. I was going down the rabbit hole looking for protest songs and found this one that you may enjoy. From far away and distant lands, the tempest tossed with hopeful hearts and calloused hands reach for the light, the torch held high, and cast their gaze upon the Lady of the Harbor, and she welcomes them Shine on, shine on, oh you lady of the harbor. And so it was with my own kin. They sailed from Sweden and from France and Ireland. Their earthly cares packed in their bags, they cast their gaze upon the lady of the harbor, and she welcomes them with open arms. She says, let my children in. Shine on, shine on, oh you lady of the harbor. Now we're locking down the borders and we're filling up the jails, and we say they don't belong. How conveniently do we forget that we all came to sing the same sweet song. Will the dream survive the strain? Will huddled masses have a chance to learn its sweet refrain? Or will we fall into our fears and turn our backs against the lady of the harbor? And she welcomes them with open arms. She said, let my children in. Shine on, shine on, oh you lady of the harbor. Shine on, shine on, oh you lady of the harbor. Shine on, shine on, oh you lady of the harbor. Oh you lady of the harbor.
Faith can mean slightly different things in different traditions and cultures. Sometimes it can look like a physical practice, kind of like we did during our body prayer today. Sometimes it can look kind of like a ritual, something that we repeatedly do over and over again. Sometimes it can mean deciding on a belief and holding on to that belief without wavering. Sometimes it's more of a general confidence or hope, like an inner knowing that we'll figure things out or kind of find our way forward. But how do we get faith? Is it something that just happens to us, or is it something that we have to actively build? I would say that the story that we explored today about the Sankofa bird offers a great way to understand how faith development is used in the Unitarian Universalist tradition. In this West African tale, the word Sankofa means to go back and get it, as we have witnessed when the bird reminded the child that they must always look back to know how to move forward. And this reminds us that sometimes forward progress can look like connecting with and understanding our past. Imagine if, in the injustice, pain, or destruction, people just sat alone, hoping that things would get better without ever looking back to ask questions like, what did our ancestors do when they faced a moment like this? What stories guided them? That kind of passive faith rarely changes anything, but the Sankofa bird teaches us about a different kind of faith, In Unitarian Universalist religious education, we often reference a quote by religious educator Connie Goodbread to describe what faith development looks like in our religious education spaces. She said, "Everything we do is faith formation. Everything we teach is Unitarian Universalism. The congregation is the curriculum." And this idea expands on the work of Maria Harris, who was a Catholic religious educator. She created a new paradigm for religious education by integrating theology, education, and feminist thought. Maria Harris described 3 kinds of learning that make up faith communities in their congregational curriculum. Explicit instruction are the things that we intentionally teach. Implicit instruction, the things that we experience when we're together. And null curriculum, the things that we don't say or we don't talk about. So what can we learn from this? Well, I think we can see that faith is complex and that it isn't built through just one thing. I think we can also see that it's not static. It kind of expands and contracts as we gather to listen, to speak, to reflect, and learn. As I was scrolling through TikTok last week, I came across an interview of a woman who had spoken out in her local town hall meeting. She was holding her representative accountable for providing inaccurate facts to back up his claims. She was in an interview with MSNBC, and they asked her what motivated her to show up and want to speak out, and she said 2 things. She said, she's been speaking regularly at her local city council meetings, and so this wasn't a new experience for her. In spiritual terms, we would say that she's kind of made this like a practice, something that she engages with often, so she's confident in her ability to do it well. And then she said, "I was surrounded by love and people who support me, and when you know you have that, it's easy to take the risk." I was surrounded by love and people who support me, and when you know you have that, it's easy to take the risk. I find a strong connection between this insight and Unitarian Universalist faith development. When we show up to practice our faith explicitly in community together, we get better at implicitly living our values in the wider world. And when we know that we are supported by a whole community and an entire faith of people, we get to show up with confidence and lend that same support to others. And thinking about how we ensure that we're doing all of this well, I think there are a couple questions that we can ask ourselves and reflect on. Is what we say matched by what we do? And what important stories or voices might we be missing or leaving out? Is what we say matched by what we do? And what important stories or voices might we be missing or leaving out? And this can be hard work sometimes. Traditionally, we've been taught to center certain voices, races, sexes, genders, ages, sexual orientation, education levels, and those of certain socioeconomic status. This is all woven deeply into the systems and relational structures. It's in the water in which we swim. And yet, as Unitarian Universalists, we are called to be radically welcoming and inclusive, to intentionally practice dismantling barriers and finding ways to be more equitable in our interactions, to recognize how deeply systems of bias and exclusion are woven into our culture, and to consistently notice when we want to lean into what is typical, common, the way that we've always done things, or the way that things should be done. To do the hard work of unlearning, looking back, we can faithfully move forward. We don't all have to agree exactly on how to do this. However, I do think it means that it is our collective responsibility to make dismantling systems of oppression an important part of our congregational curriculum. We can always engage with this by asking ourselves and others questions like, where do those ideas come from? Do they include perspectives of people that are different than mine? Is there maybe a better way? And living in alignment with what we say and what we do, honoring the voices we've overlooked, is not a one-time fix. It's an ongoing sacred and spiritual practice that we do over and over again. And practice makes progress. It gets easier every single time we engage with it. And when we know that we are not alone, that we are part of a community that values love, justice, equity, pluralism, transformation, interdependence, and generosity, we can live more courageously. Each spring, I have the honor of gathering with your religious exploration team that is made up of UUFCO members and friends who are passionate about helping young people grow in their faith. And during this time, we reflect on the feedback we've received throughout the year, and we think about how we might connect it to our congregational mission and the wider vision of Unitarian Universalism in the year ahead. This year, our focus will be on listening to stories in our younger classes and on helping them create their own stories in our older classes. Our hope is that these stories will give our young people wisdom and courage to advocate for just and equitable transformation. And should our young people ever be unsure about what to do next, they will be able to have faith in their ability to look back and connect with our stories and their own stories so that they can move forward confidently and with the wisdom of the Sankofa bird, like the child in our story. And this is the fun part. You get to help us do this. When you came in, you should have received a paper, and if you didn't, you can get one when you leave. And it has a place on there for you to write down a story that's been important to you in your faith development journey. And you can also put a story that is important to you about UUFCO if you've been here for a while. And so these could be stories about people or a building or community service projects. They could also include your favorite books from childhood or historical figures, religious stories, wisdom tales. You can just tell us the name of a story if it's a book, or you could tell us a little bit, kind of like the general idea of the story and what you learned from that. And you don't have to do it today. I'm gonna have a bin in the gathering hall. It's gonna be out there for a few weeks, and there will be more of those papers too, if you think of more stories. But we'd like to get a good collection of stories that are important to you all and that are important to UUFCO so that we can make sure that we are including them in the stories that we share with our young people. And if you're more of a digital person and paper is not your thing, you can also always send me an email and just say, here's my story. That works too. So our plan is just to integrate all of these stories in the upcoming year. And we look forward to all of the things that we're going to learn together, the ways that we're going to grow together, and the ways that we will continue to live out our curriculum in all of these different ways in the important work that we do here together. And I think at this time, we're going to sort of let that sit with us and let us think about what those stories might be. Let us think about how we live our curriculum in the world and together while the house band sets up for a song. And then they're going to share it with us.
Do we have a slide for this one? Probably don't even need one. You guys know this song. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I don't think you can breathe well if you're sitting down. I encourage you to stand on this one. I've got faith like a mountain, I've got faith like a mountain, I've got faith like a mountain in my soul. I've got faith like a mountain, I've got faith like a mountain, I've got faith like a mountain in my soul. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river.
I love that song. It's one of my favorites. When I am creating a service, I often collect quotes here and there, and I choose ones that I think might fit best. And I came across several quotes that all give kind of unique perspectives, and I just couldn't choose which one. So I'm going to share all of them with you, and in the spirit of diversity, let you choose which one speaks to you. They're all from very different people. The first quote is from author and journalist Omar El-Aked. He says, "The moral component of history, the most necessary component, is simply a single question asked over and over and over again. When it mattered, who sided with justice and who sided with power? And what makes moments like this one so dangerous, so clarifying, is that one way or another, everyone is forced to answer." The next quote is by Howard Zinn, who is an American historian and World War II veteran. He said, "If we see only the worst, it destroys our capacity to do something. And if we remember those times and places, and there are so many, where people have behaved magnificently, this gives us the energy to act, and at least the possibility of sending the spinning top of a world in a different direction." And finally, we have the words of wisdom from somatic educator and coach Christiane Palmas. She says, "We were not made for these times, but we must let these times make us. We must let these times call us up and out into versions of ourselves that have not yet been seen on earth. We must be savvy and cunning. We must make ourselves inhospitable to the strategic assaults of our spirit and our courage, while making ourselves eminently findable in the deep dream of the world. We must allow ourselves to be made in just such a way that we become brave and ingenious collaborators with the dream in ways that we could not have imagined. We must learn to serve in these times, not from a place of desperation or saving, but from a place of love, deep imagination, and fertile rage. We must pull off a kind of willed evolution of spirit and magic." So just take whichever one spoke to you and just hold that in your heart for a moment. Just take it in. Yeah. And then please rise and body your spirit as we say our congregational covenant. Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service is its law. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Will you please remain standing and take a deep breath and sing "This Little Light of Mine" with us? This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. This everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Building in a world, building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Lifting up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Though our chalice is extinguished, may its warmth of light remain within us, guiding our steps and our hearts. Let us carry forward the strength of this community, the courage to speak truth, and the hope that transformation is possible. In each breath we take, may we remember that the work of love, justice, and healing is ours to continue, both here and beyond these walls. Blessed be. And as you go out, maybe think about those stories that are important to you and that are important to our fellowship. Share them with someone. And you can leave them in the back bin on that table if you get a chance to do that today.